The things that people associate with you have become a part of your identity, and it's very hard to break those things and break those habits that come along with that, because you've started to believe it yourself, and then you don't want to be seen as otherwise. But what if that thing that you have adopted as a part of your personal identity is not necessarily a favorable habit to run a successful business? Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, a safe space for ambitious beauty industry creatives to have real talk, get real answers, and practical tools to grow their businesses. My name is Aquia Robinson, and I'm a makeup artist, beauty educator, and the creator of Friends in Beauty. I created Friends in Beauty to support like-minded creatives just like you on their quest to connect, network, and build genuine relationships within the beauty community. Join me every week as me and my special guests reveal the keys to success and longevity in the beauty industry, and most importantly, have fun while doing it. You ready? Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty, Aquia Robinson. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I am so happy to have you here, and I hope you're listening to this episode in high spirits and in good health. If you are a friend in beauty, I welcome you to join the Friends in Beauty Facebook community. If you're looking for a community of like-minded, ambitious friends in beauty to virtually connect with, network, and share resources, then click the link down below in the show description to join us in the Facebook community, and I'll be there to welcome you with open arms. Also, let's get social. Follow Friends in Beauty on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty. Additionally, the Friends in Beauty podcast is available on several platforms. We're on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google, YouTube, you name it, we are there. And whatever platform you are listening from right now, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into the Friends in Beauty podcast. I appreciate it more than you know. And I would love it even further if you took the time to leave a 5-star rating, a review, a like, a comment, a share, a subscribe, or something to let me know how you feel about the Friends in Beauty podcast. Additionally, Friends in Beauty is now on Patreon. So for as little as $3 a month, you can support the Friends in Beauty podcast. And there are also several tiers available that unlock Patreon exclusive content just for you, like behind the scene content of the Friends in Beauty podcast, bonus interview clips, a monthly Ask Me Anything, discounts, and so much more. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'll leave the link down below in the show description for that as well. Also, if you'd like to stay connected even further, join the Friends in Beauty mailing list tribe. They are the first to know about all things Friends in Beauty, and I send out different resources and tips throughout the week. So if that's something that you're interested in, join us over there. And last but not least, listen up. The most important thing is to share the Friends in Beauty podcast with your other friends in beauty, your family, your friends, anybody that you think could benefit from the information that is being shared. Share away to help me grow the Friends in Beauty community. Now, before I jump into this episode, I just want to remind you about the Friends in Beauty Networking Mixer going down on January 16th, 2023 from 2 to 5 p.m. here in the DMV area. It is free to RSVP, and I will leave the link down below in the show notes or in the description. But I would love to see you there. If you are in the DMV area or surrounding areas and you don't mind doing a little bit of traveling, I would love to give you a squeeze, okay? Come out and meet your community and network. We're going to be talking about 2023, some strategies of how we can get through the year, seeing what you need help with and everything. So I would love for you to come out and, come out and vibe and come out and meet us. So what I want to talk about today is just basically how just like our personal identity and our personal habits that we have in our lives can be holding us back from reaching the success that we want in our businesses. This is something that I think about a lot because if you all don't know, I do go to therapy. I've been in therapy for about a year and a half now. So, of course, therapy forces you to, pull some things out of yourself that you may or may not have recognized were there and kind of make you think about why you're like this or why you do the things that you do, whether it's good or bad, So this is something I have been thinking about a lot because I really feel like a part of me just observing myself, I do realize how some of my personal habits have been kind of like holding me back and like seeping into my business. So I wanted to come and talk to you about it, just to, bounce the idea off of you and kind of get your wheels turning as well, because this may be something that, you may be able to relate to. So I just feel like, what we do in our personal lives, based on the habits that we've adopted over the years as we've gotten older, that start from childhood to adulthood, it definitely translates over into our businesses in some kind of way. And I think that it's important for us to, be aware of it or to recognize it, so that we can, eliminate it and, achieve the success that we want. Okay. So I feel like people always talk about being successful and doing, the things that successful people do, like adopting the habits that successful people have, but they don't really stress the importance of eliminating the bad personal habits that may show up in us like individually, because of course we're not all the same. But, some of us have habits that could really, really like hinder us from moving forward. So I think it's really important that people start to have that conversation, because of course we can, adopt the habits of, successful people. But if there are other things that are going on in our lives that, are not so good, it can definitely like seep into our business and wreak havoc. So I want to say this, like, as I've gotten older, as I've progressed in business, and just see the excuses that even I have sometimes for myself, or just the excuses that I hear other people make, the only thing that is holding us back is ourselves. It really is truly like just the stories that we make up in our heads of why we can't have something. I think it's time for us to be a little bit delusional and just believe that we can have everything and just see what happens with that. We just hold ourselves back so much, and we keep wondering why we've only gotten so far in our business. It's because we've only done what's comfortable in order to change. We've only done the things that are comfortable, like whatever it is for you. Like I said, everybody is different, but whatever doesn't cause too much heartache or just too much discomfort, that's what we're willing to do to change. It's difficult to change the things that we've allowed to become a part of like our identity. Like the things that, the things that have become a part of our identity, the things that people associate with you have become a part of your identity. And it's very hard to like break those things and break those habits that come along with that, because you've started to believe it yourself, and then you don't want to be seen as otherwise. But what if that thing that you have adopted as a part of your personal identity is not necessarily a favorable habit to run a successful business? Like, follow me here, okay? So for example, if you've always been seen as like the nice guy or the nice girl, like you don't cause any problems, like you're always not agreeing, but you just don't ruffle any feathers or anything like that, then you're probably also a person who avoids confrontation. Like, let me know if I'm right or wrong. You're probably a person that avoids confrontation as well. If you've always been seen as a nice guy, nice girl, people just don't know you to, bounce back or just bring things to light that need to be brought to light, because you just want to stay low key under the radar. In turn, you probably have a problem with being assertive and asking for what you want or what you need, even when you're in the right. Even when it's something that you deserve and you're supposed to have, you still have a difficult time asking for it because you don't want to confront the person, or you don't want to, address the problem head on. So things like, late clients, you might let that slide because you don't necessarily want to say something that's going to maybe possibly cause an argument. You know what I'm saying? When people promise you projects and they don't deliver them on time. I know back in the day, it used to be a huge thing with like people doing photo shoots and then the photographers not giving them like the pictures. That used to be a big thing. But, some people, they don't have a problem asking for their pictures, but other people, they're just like, I just don't know. I don't want, want to cause any problems. And, they say something bad about me. They just won't say anything. Or just speaking up when you don't agree with something at all, just because you don't want to rock the boat. Okay. And be seen as someone outside of this identity that you have clung to. You follow me? Or for another example, are you known to be irresponsible with money? Then you probably won't manage your finances right in your business. Then if you've always been irresponsible with money, it's kind of like that saying, like they always be like, God won't give you more than you can handle. Because people always say that when you're going through like a hard time, you're like, oh my God, I don't want to be seen as the person that can handle this. Like, take it away. But I feel like that's also the reason why you haven't reached, but you've reached a ceiling. It's also the reason why you reached a ceiling with your income, because God won't give you more than you can handle, right? Because if you can't properly manage what you have right now, the income that you have right now, then how are you going to be able to manage more income? How? So if you're somebody who has been irresponsible with money for a long time, then it's time to flip the script and get responsible with money, because you deserve so much more. And it's waiting on the other side of you getting over this hump. Definitely hit up my girl, the beauty CPA, Kanisha Coleman. Okay, she is a Friends in Beauty podcast alum. If you're in the beauty industry and you need help with your bookkeeping, your budgeting, finances, and all that stuff, definitely hit her up. Okay. And last one. This is the last example I got. That friend, oh my God, that friend. I think we all have that friend that is always late. And people be really proud, like, that's a part of their identity. People be really proud to say, oh my God, I'm always late. Like, I'm never on time. Like, that is not cute. That is not cute, okay? I personally cannot stand being late. And I have always been like this since I was a child. I have a very cute story as to why I think is the reason why I'm like that. I'll tell y'all that another day. But I have always, ever since I was a child, I hate being late to stuff. And I always tell people, even now, like if I'm late somewhere, then you better believe that it was out of my control. It was just out of my control. It must have been traffic, an accident, something, because I don't play that being late. But if you are that person who has adopted that into your identity, I'm just always late. Like, I'm never on time. Yeah, people always on late. That is not cute, first of all. Second of all, how is that translating over into your business? How is that translating? You have to ask yourself. You're wondering why people stop referring you to their clients because you're always late. Or why clients stop booking you because you're always late. Like, eventually people get tired of that. It gets old. Word travels fast. You'll be seen as unreliable. Either, being late, or the one back in the day was like just not showing up at all. Eventually, word is going to spread that this makeup artist, she be standing people up. And these are things that happen for real. Like, I've gotten plenty of calls as the second, the backup person, but who cares? I've gotten plenty of calls back in the day to work on projects because the makeup artist was unreliable and didn't show up, and I just happened to be available. It'd be stuff like that. Word definitely travels, and eventually people are just going to stop asking you. The phone lines, the email lines, the DMs is going to be dry. So please, 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 please get that under control. Like, even if you have to put on your calendar that the appointment is an hour earlier than what it really is, just to get it in your brain that you need to leave out a little bit early. I'm not sure, but that one can really, really get you blackballed. I don't want to say blackballed, but like I said, the bookings will slow down once word spreads. Okay, so I don't want that to happen to you. So these things are going to keep holding us back until we change. And I say we because, I'm not perfect at all. There are definitely some things that I'm still working on changing so that I can reach my next level. And it's not going to be comfortable because, of course, those things have to do with my identity. And it's going to take me a little bit of stretching. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be very uncomfortable to stretch myself past what I've always known myself to be, as well as other people. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know who you are on the other side of what you've perceived yourself to be all this time. That's the crazy thing. So how can we change this? I think number one is awareness, like being really honest with yourself and pay attention to how these things continue to show up. You just have to be aware of it and be like, I just noticed that I avoided, talking to this person, or I just thought about calling them again, but I avoided it because I don't want to have to deal with the confrontation. Just be aware of it. That's the first thing. Another thing is, I read this book called Atomic Habits, and I'll be sure to link it down in the show notes. But that's a really good place to start as well. If you like to read books, Atomic Habits is a great book that teaches you how to eliminate habits like strategically, like not just like cold turkey, because a lot of people just like to try to do things cold turkey, and that's when things don't really work. But it teaches you how to like substitute, like habit stack, pretty much, like to adopt new habits. I don't know how to really describe it. Just grab the book and let me know what you think. Also, if you're into affirmations, of course, affirmations are great. Like affirmations, doing them until you start believing them. Do your affirmations until you start embodying like what the affirmation is actually saying. And then soon you'll be living proof of the positive change. Like you won't even recognize that person anymore that used to be so passive. You won't even recognize that person anymore who used to be bad with money. Like now you showing up on time everywhere. You the first person in the building, okay? Like you're not even going to recognize like that was you in the past. So if you have any additional ways that you have adopted or are going to try to change like these personal identity habits that, some of us have adopted, then be sure to leave them in the corresponding on the corresponding post for this on Instagram, on the Friends and Beauty page. Like drop them in the comments for this episode. And if this episode resonated with you, share it, please. Like I encourage you to take a screenshot of, the cover of this episode and tag me in your stories, share it with your friends and family. I really, really enjoy hearing your feedback. Like it just lights me up. Okay. So definitely share and definitely welcome into a little glimpse of how my mind be working. Like I really be thinking about these things like in the house. Like I know myself and I know the things that I need to work on, how it's been translating over into my business. And I'm really, really working hard to, change myself personally so that I can do better for, showing up for my friends in beauty. Okay. Cause we're going up. It's so many amazing things that are already happening. If you're following us on Instagram, then you'll definitely see a glimpse of what has already been going on so far in 2023. And I'm just so excited. Okay. So I have to be that person who is, deserving and who can carry the load of what is to come. So I got to change some of my personal habits, and so do you. Eliminate those things that you have been clinging to as a part of your identity so that you can get to where you want to get to. All right. The sooner, the better. All right. But brace yourself. Give yourself some grace. Okay. But the sooner, the better. All right. I will talk to you soon. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Bye. Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. Share this episode with at least one friend in beauty, and subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts so that other friends in beauty can find this show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, #Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.